In the 80s, a song about chess became a top 10 hit. Another track turned real-world riots into a dance floor anthem, and one of the biggest songs of the decade got banned, which somehow made it even bigger. These weren't deep cuts, they were everywhere, and nobody questioned any of it. Let's talk about why. Owner of a Lonely Heart sounds like a perfectly normal pop song, right up until it doesn't. Big hook, polished production, massive chorus, all there. But Trevor Horn's production keeps throwing you off, unexpected shifts, a structure that refuses to settle, a general sense that the song is doing whatever it wants. For a prog rock band swinging at mainstream pop, it shouldn't have landed this clean. It went to number 1 in the US, which remains one of the more surprising chart facts of 1984. Yes committed completely to the reinvention, and somehow it worked. She Blinded Me with Science feels less like a song and more like a lecture that got out of hand. Spoken word, a random scientist literally yelling the title, lyrics that sound like they were written mid-thought. It has no business being catchy, and that's the part that shouldn't work. And yet it absolutely is, and you can't explain why without just playing it. Thomas Dolby made exactly one song most people know. This was it. It stuck because the chaos felt deliberate, even when it probably wasn't. Der Kommissar is a different kind of weird, because most people had no idea what it was actually about. The lyrics reference drug deals and street paranoia in post-war Vienna. Dark subject matter, sung partly in German, with a tone that sits somewhere between urgent and threatening. And it was a massive pop hit. Nobody cared that they didn't understand it. The rhythm carried it. The vibe carried it. Turns out a song doesn't need to make literal sense if it makes physical sense. Electric Avenue. Everyone knows it. Most people have no idea what it's about. It sounds upbeat, almost celebratory. The kind of song that gets played at casual get-togethers without anyone thinking twice. But Eddie Grant wrote it about the Brixton riots of 1981. Real civil unrest, real tension, real frustration with economic conditions in South London. That gap between how it sounds and what it's saying is genuinely fascinating. One of the most politically loaded songs of the decade, dressed up as something you'd hear at a barbecue. Then there's One Night in Bangkok, which raises a fair question. Is this actually a song? Murray Head spends most of it just talking. Confident, slightly theatrical talking, but still. The subject is chess. The setting is a tournament in Thailand. The tone is somewhere between travelogue and mild superiority complex. It shouldn't have charted, yet it absolutely charted. Sometimes delivery is everything, and Head commits so hard to the bit that you just go along with it. And then there's Relax. Frankie Goes to Hollywood definitely didn't ease anyone into this one. The lyrics were explicit, the intent was obvious, and BBC Radio 1 banned it almost immediately, which was, predictably, the best thing that could have happened to it. The ban turned it into a cultural flashpoint, and it hit number 1 in the UK and stayed there for 5 weeks. Controversy in the 80s wasn't a career risk, it was a marketing strategy, planned or not. That's what made this era genuinely strange. The charts weren't just rewarding what sounded good, they were rewarding whatever cut through the noise, and sometimes the thing that cut through made absolutely no sense and still worked anyway. Which one of these still holds up for you? Drop it in the comments, and if you want more of the strangest hits from a decade that wrote its own rules, check this one out right here.